Beijing for over a month now. No one has any reason to get up in the morning.
Je vais ouvrir les rideaux, d'accord. Bien pollué en plus.
No good reason, unless it's to have a quick check on the latest numbers of infections in the epidemic.
Alors,
See that? 44, nearly 55,000 cases confirmed.
I came to China as a journalist in 2007. I married Lulu, a Beijing girl, born and bred. We have one son, and the three of us live in an apartment building in the north of Beijing. I often travel across China for my work, but now you can't go anywhere.
Now there's only Tibet where things are still okay.
Around the towns, barriers have sprung up everywhere. Around the towns, around the provinces, around neighborhoods, and around each apartment block. Where I live, men in uniform are now checking anyone entering or leaving. And it's the same everywhere. It's the whole Communist Party security apparatus, neighborhood committees, who normally check the political or social behavior of the people, who've been converted into specialist virus police. With temperature checks, obligatory quarantine if you leave town, obligatory masks, the people of Beijing have gradually disappeared from view in their city, confined in their homes by the regime, but also confined through fear. So this is the only kind of report possible, a static report, a chronicle of confinement. Our days seem empty, but they ask so many questions for the future of China. There's one good piece of news. As we're living together 24 hours a day, family unity has never been so good. I've even been able to ask my son to give me a hand. Should we go and get some water?
Yeah.
The tap water is not drinkable, so we have to have these demijohns delivered almost every day. And as our district is closed to anyone from the outside, we have to go and get the water ourselves. My son is lucky. The barrier that now blocks off the entrance in our building is not very high. Since the start of the epidemic, Lulu and I have a new fashion accessory. Before we go out, we put on our masks. Mine is black, hers is white. It annoys Lulu because she can't put on lipstick anymore. But we don't really have any option. Since quarantine started, masks are strongly advised. In fact, it means we can't go anywhere without one, otherwise we'll be arrested. This is the last of our district's 4 entry points that's still open, at a checkpoint. And to get out, we've been given exit permits. They're checked every time we go through. If we get permission, we're allowed out. You would think it's 5 o'clock on a Sunday morning in Beijing. Not at all. In fact, it's the middle of a Friday afternoon, and we're going shopping. Usually, Beijing on a Friday is more like this. So even though it feels quite good not to be in a crowd anymore, it does feel a bit lonely. To make the stressful situation worse, our temperature is checked every 300 meters. I'm not sure that placing these devices on dozens of wrists is a good idea. It's the same in the shopping mall. No one. Here, in normal times, we queue 30 minutes to get a coffee. But then everyone's on tenterhooks. It's a good thing that some youngsters are still playing on the basketball court. It livens the place up. Come to think of it, I'm surprised they're still allowed to play without masks. There are still some alcohol-based hand sanitizers, but we don't know for how long. There's another inspection as we go into the supermarket. At least there are a few more people here. One of our only occupations since we've been in quarantine is cooking. It's almost comforting to see the shelves in the supermarket. Almost, because everyone in Beijing has seen the pictures on social media of the empty stalls in Wuhan. The situation in the epicenter of the epidemic, with those thousands of people infected, is on everyone's mind and is stoking the general feeling of fear. But the situation in Beijing is nothing like that in Wuhan. Officially, there are only about 100 confirmed cases to date, but nevertheless, the city is in lockdown. I meet Miss Lee, my translator, in the metro. Before I even say hello, I know what her surface temperature is, 32.1, the screen tells us. All entrances to the metro are now equipped with this type of thermal camera. If your temperature goes over the fatal threshold of 37.3, you're kept apart behind this barrier before being sent to hospital. Obviously, in the metro, there's a guard to check that everyone is wearing their mask. That if there's anyone to check, because in normal times, the Beijing metro is more like this.
Please get ready for your arrival.
But the real problem is the shortage of masks. We're going to look for some with Miss Lee.
No, this is closed. Go try over there.
Oh, it says that the mask can...
The sign says they've run out. Hello, do you have any masks left?
I've only got electric masks.
Can I see one?
Yeah.
The only mask he has left costs 40 euros. He's happy to suggest that one.
Is it effective against the virus?
Which virus do you mean?
Well, the coronavirus, the epidemic.
However good the surgical mask you use, you have to change it every 2 days.
Every 2 days?
Yes, every 2 days, to be sure of being protected against the virus. Whereas with this electric mask, you don't need to change it. You are safe to use it for 2 months. Yes, 2 months.
But can I buy your sort of mask? The one you're wearing?
No, you're too late. There are none left today. They've all gone.
Can I come back tomorrow to try and get one?
Yes, normally. That's how it works. You'd better come back early tomorrow because the number of masks is very limited. And as everyone in the area knows the situation, they come very early. They are prepared to queue up to get one. At the moment, everything to do with the epidemic is managed by the government. That means rationing. The quantities we can sell are strictly controlled. Could you stop filming? It's best not to film. Okay?
The epidemic is making everyone even more paranoid than usual. We try our luck again a few blocks further on. The situation is even more depressing.
Do you have any masks?
We're completely out of stock. There are none left anywhere. If you want something else, they'll let you have it. Otherwise, they keep the door shut.
The chemists here don't even open their doors, and they hide when we try to ask them anything. After several attempts, one lady pharmacist finally agrees to give us an answer.
Have you any masks left? And if not, when will you have some? We've no information. We don't know when we'll get any more.
But how can we fight this epidemic without masks? The situation is straight out of Kafka, and it explains that the only solution is to shut everyone in, or almost everyone. I decide to go to Tiananmen Square to see what it's like in the heart of the city. The pavements in the city centre are closed, so the only solution is to go round the square on a bike. To the north of Tiananmen is the Forbidden City. There are police everywhere to stop you getting in. The city has never been so forbidden. A few meters further on is Shongnanhai, the seat of government. Behind this door, the leaders of the regime are working, confined within by the fear of the virus. Impossible to stop anywhere near. At last, the final bend, the most impressive one. The largest square in the world, permeated with history, with Mao's mausoleum in the middle, completely deserted. Here's Tiananmen Square as you've never seen it before. In view of the way things are going outside my house and in the city centre, I was curious to see how it was in the more working-class areas of Beijing's suburbs. Are the quarantine measures the same? Out here, companies house their workers in little houses with just one room, a model of working-class society in which nobody would dare to go against the orders of the regime. Mr. Chen is a taxi driver and lives in this quarter. I booked him for the day to show me around here.
To be allowed in, we normally have to register you here. I just have to get out to explain to them, okay?
It's impossible to get into these districts without a pass. We're going to try and get in with the driver's pass.
This is my pass to get into my neighborhood.
We're not the only ones waiting. Everyone must pass through the radars of these neighborhood committee guards. Everywhere the machinery of the communist regime is serving the security-conscious vision of the fight against the virus. The building and the neighborhood committees and the local branches of the party manage the quarantine imposed on the areas affected. They give us the passes to get into our homes, and it's they who report people who have a high temperature or who go out without a mask. Everyone is checked, even this couple who have lived here for the last 7 years.
I've just come from Hebei province. I came back from my work, but my company has asked me to isolate myself for at least 7 days before I go back to work. 7 days, yes. Hello, do you have an authorization for this interview? If you don't, then you must stop filming. Stop the camera at once.
Impossible to get in without the pass we've just seen. We're going to try another entry point, which is less well guarded.
Hello, may we come through?
You can't come in just like that. I don't even know who you are or what you want to do.
We just want to come in and see.
If you want to come in, you need to go to the other entrance. You're not allowed through here. The people in charge are all over there.
Okay.
Living in Beijing these days involves spending most of your time in useless chat at checkpoints where everything is geared to preventing you from getting in. Our driver is getting anxious. He's wondering if he'll be able to get back home.
We live in a little house just near here. We'll see if we can get in that way. That's the checkpoint.
Since the beginning of the crisis, the number of local committee agents has greatly increased. Volunteers, as they like to call themselves, have come to swell the ranks, all solidly behind the nation to fight the virus. In reality, with or without the armband, they're all paid by the City Hall to ensure that everyone obeys the rules. The checks are strict, and the hours of coming and going are extremely closely controlled. Strangely enough, here they're letting us through.
When the gates are closed, you can't get in for whatever reason. The other day I had to sleep outside in my car.
As everywhere else, the roads and alleyways are deserted. It's difficult to find anyone to talk to us. The only person we meet is this man, who's outside for the first time in 2 days.
I've got potatoes, noodles, garlic, tofu, vegetables. I've been shopping. We have to buy more than usual because there are 3 of us at home and I'm the only one who goes out. I get out every 2 or 3 days. Okay, thank you.
These workers' houses may well be tiny, but everyone stays inside without demur. The regime's orders. Further north, we're stopped at another checkpoint, this time in the middle of the road. And the guards, with their shaven heads, are rather edgy.
Where are you going? We're just going down there to turn around. We have to take your temperature. You too, we have to take your temperature.
No need, I've just been checked.
Yes, yes, we have to take our temperature. Okay, you can go and turn around.
Do you want to get out from here?
There's a military base close by. It must be protected from the epidemic at all costs, as must be the leaders in the country's capital. When I get back home, there's something odd happening outside the building. This is the first time I've seen an ambulance in my residence where there are no confirmed cases. For our peace of mind, we're now able to check almost in real time if anyone is ill in the building. Several applications propose the geolocalization of those who are sick.
There, the blue spot, that's our place. And there around it, in yellow, those are residences where they have located sick people. That's to say, where there are people ill in their homes. The darker the color, the more recent the illness.
Each little red dot represents a case of infection. And in Chinese society, where each person is under surveillance by the shopping they do, their movements or facial recognition, it's impossible to pass unnoticed.
So I click. The sick person who's been found, where's she been? A fruit shop, a little cafe. It's 2 or 3 kilometers away. That's a long way. I'm here, so we're not going to do 3 kilometers to buy an apple. No way. The way these new technologies have developed has made everyday life very practical. But even so, it's a bit frightening.
Most of the infected people listed here have been in Beijing's city center. The avenue Wangfujing is empty. It's the Champs-Élysées of Beijing. Usually there are crowds window shopping outside the big department stores. Today, instead of showing advertisements, the screens are giving out warning messages about the virus. In the middle of the avenue, the market, where you could eat brochettes of larvae or scorpions, is closed off behind this barrier, where there's a message announcing that there's going to be a renovation. But no one knows when. The days are long for the traders. Mrs. Zhang runs a cafe, the only one that's open around here. Today, I'll have been her only customer.
When the epidemic broke out, we calculated straight away the best way to organize ourselves. We reckoned it could last till halfway through the year. I have a lot of friends in the restaurant business who are in the same situation as me. Of course, we're all under pressure, especially if our estimates are right. At the moment, it's impossible to know when we'll be able to start working again. We'll watch closely as events unfold. In any case, as soon as things get better, we'll hear it on the news. Every day they announce the latest figures for the epidemic, and we try to work out when we'll be able to reopen.
Mr. Tian has 2 restaurants in this very busy Beijing street. For a month now, he's had to stay closed. And anyway, there are no customers in the offing.
Before the epidemic, the shelves were full. There was a wide choice of food. The customers came to choose their dish. They went and waited, paid for it. Then they'd sit down here at one of these tables. It was full to bursting. And now we're empty, and there's nothing we can do except wait. The government has asked those who can go back to work. For example, people who can work from home. But that's not possible for us, running restaurants. It's far too soon. There's nothing I can do but bear the financial losses myself. A friend of mine advised me to negotiate with my landlord to try to lower the rent a bit. But I don't like to do that, because the landlord is hit by the epidemic too. His money doesn't fall from the sky either. How could I ask him to do such a thing?
The city is at a standstill, but at home people are finding that time is beginning to drag. It would be very nice to go out for a change one of these days. As no one from outside can come and visit us, and everything in the city is closed, we decide to go and see our neighbour, Gary. We don't really know each other, but we say hello when we meet in the car park.
Hey.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Hard time.
Yeah, it's hard time. Have a seat.
He lives with his wife and cat. He usually sells second-hand cars, but now, like everyone else, he's been twiddling his thumbs for a month between four walls.
The gym's closed, restaurant's closed, the barber shop closed, so it's not convenient. So I try my best to do everything that's interesting in my home. I play the game, I do the workouts, that's it. It's really boring. It's really boring. I feel so bored.
Gary is allowed to go out, but he doesn't. He's too worried.
Every day I woke up, the first thing that I do is to check the death toll. Yeah, every day, because it's so, I'm really concerned about this. Yeah.
Since the quarantine was declared, he hasn't missed one news bulletin on CCTV, the state channel.
In 2003, we had the SARS epidemic. I was in my third year at university. I think people were less frightened then than they are now. It's true. Now people are much more frightened of this epidemic than they were of SARS. People say that if the climate has changed, it's because of WeChat. They say that because of the social media, we communicate much more, and so we spread our fears. At the time of SARS, there was no social media. In 2003, the officials in Beijing made some very bad mistakes. They hid the truth, and that caused some serious problems. But I think they've done better this time, and they are managing the situation really quite well. But maybe at the beginning they still tried to hide some things. I don't know.
Whether it's transparent or not, the information Gary receives convinces him that it's better to stay at home. Every evening, the state TV channel broadcasts pictures of the state of the crisis. They show the insides of hospitals, sick people, but above all, the perfect coordination between the army and the doctors. They show pictures of the outside too, in the towns where the state apparatus is reacting fast and effectively. They're even swabbing down the streets, and the Prime Minister is setting an example. It's enough to give the impression that the situation is under control. With every passing day, Beijing is more and more deserted. These streets are usually awash with thousands of cars and people almost 24 hours a day. Today, nothing. It's deathly quiet. This banner announces that everyone is united and that thanks to this confidence and the government's scientific strategy, the epidemic will be beaten. That's the regime's obsession, that the fear of the virus might provoke social unrest, criticism of the leaders. The party seems to be more afraid of the virus of freedom than of the virus of pneumonia. So the censors have cracked down hard on those who try to give out information on social media. One of them is the blogger Fang Bing. The police have come to his home to arrest him.
Who is it?
The police.
The police?
Yes, the police. Open up.
Why are there so many of you? Stop taking photos. Why are you here?
We're here for you.
Where are you going to take me? What do you want with me?
Come on, open up now.
Where are you going to take me? Tell me that first.
The police end up breaking in. Fang hasn't been seen since. Since the beginning of the crisis, the blogger has filmed all he's seen in Wuhan and posted it on social media. He's been in hospitals, shown piled up bodies, sick people dying, and a medical team out of its depth. None of this is filtered. And his posts are followed by hundreds of millions of Chinese. He openly condemns the inefficacy of the government.
They will be punished, you can be sure of that. They'll have to pay for the consequences of their acts. All anti-communist forces must come together. And even if they arrest me, I'm not afraid.
This is an insufferable affront to the Chinese regime. Before Beijing could react, videos like this were mushrooming on social media. Shen Chui also has a large following because he too haunts the hospitals of Wuhan. He films the sick who are waiting but receiving no treatment, the distress of patients who are not taken care of after days of fever.
Hello, everyone. This is Chen Chui here. It is now the 30th of January at 11 o'clock in the morning.
This is the last video he posted before he disappeared into enforced quarantine.
I'm frightened. I have the virus in front of me and state security behind. But I'll hold my head up high. For as long as I'm in this town, I'll carry on with my reports. I'll tell you only what I see and what I hear. Fuck off. You think I'm afraid to die? You think I'm afraid of you, communist regime?
Over the last few days, I've seen messages on WeChat and Douban, the Chinese versions of Facebook and Twitter, that come from a couple of bloggers in Beijing who are also brave enough to confront official reality. They've agreed to meet me with an interpreter in their small flat in the center of the city.
We haven't been out for several days, so we drink lots of tea just for something to do.
Since the beginning of the crisis, the people have become organized and taken on the role of journalists to try to spread as much information as possible about the situation, alongside the official media. An apparent freedom which in China always has its limitations. This couple of bloggers has tried, with the means at their disposal, to diffuse a sense of revolt following the death of Dr. Li. This doctor from Wuhan was the first to spread the news of this epidemic to the public at large. After he was arrested by the police, he died in Wuhan infected by the virus, thus becoming a symbol of the absurdity of this system, which silences all those who might destabilize the regime.
After Dr. Li's death, people were sad and angry. I had the idea that we could all pay homage by putting a drawing of his face as a profile photo on WeChat and Douban, or by publishing messages such as "expressing an opinion is not a crime" or "bon voyage to paradise." Rather like a web demonstration, I started the movement on these social media, and within 30 minutes, millions of internauts changed their profile photos and shared my posts. The internet police were notified and they gave me a warning. All the content that you have posted will be expunged because it is likely to foment unrest. If you refuse to cooperate, your account will be removed permanently.
In China, these social media are used for everything. Payments, messaging, using public transport. Denial of access means exclusion from society.
To start with, Taixin and Sanyan were active in covering what was happening. Then state television sent 300 reporters to Wuhan with one aim in mind: to guide public opinion and stop others from doing their work. Unfortunately, the regime exercises much stronger control these days.
So quarantine is now global, physical and newsworthy. As well as being confined to their homes, Chinese citizens are limited in access to information, except for what the regime chooses to give them. Even these two bloggers don't have much room for maneuver now.
You see, it's impossible to get around the internet blackout. Our applications don't work anymore.
All their information tools which enabled them to bypass censorship and go onto forbidden sites like Twitter have also been blocked for them. Two weeks of quarantine already. The gates of the residence, as well as being closed, are now covered in wire netting, barricaded by green metal barriers 2 meters high. You couldn't get through anyway before, but now at least it's made clear. This is now our little daily game, a constant stream of delivery people who come and pass us our food over the grill. And as for the jerry cans of drinking water, it's getting more and more like hard work. With every day that passes, we feel slightly more trapped. Lulu decides she's going to call her cousin on the phone to see how her daughter is. For several weeks now, the little girl of 7 has been confined to the family home.
Just hang on, I'll go and get her. She's getting changed.
The school is closed, of course, so lessons take place via the screen.
What are you doing at school? Tell your auntie. I sit down at the table and I switch on the telly. I learn my lessons from the telly. And then when it's finished, the teacher gives us homework. Do you communicate via Skype as we're doing now? No, before we did it like that, the teacher could see us, but now we do everything through the telly. And the teacher can't see us anymore.
Lulu's cousin sends us some photos of her daughter's daily routine. Tong Tong is an only child, and her daily confinement is organised minute by minute. Wake up at 8 a.m, breakfast, then it's virtual school all morning. And just like when she goes to school, the school day starts with a period of gym. And in the afternoon, it's time for sports activities. Tong Tong has a passion for dancing.
Don't force your movements. Look, do it like I'm showing you. These days, because she can't go out, her dance teacher has done her an online thing. Live, in fact. It's not recorded, it's live. And the children learn that way. What's your teacher wearing on her head? A bandana. She looks like an actress from the Beijing opera.
At home, we can't bear to be indoors anymore, so we try to venture outside. 2 days ago, the filtering system changed. Now everyone has to go through this big military tent. Things are getting organised. The colour of our passes has been changed to reflect the sickness of people in the surrounding zone. At the moment, they're pistachio green, but we don't know what that means. We are surreptitiously filming with the phone because cameras are no longer welcome in the controlled zones. Outside, it's even worse than before. It's more deserted than ever. The only living souls we meet are either wearing a red armband or they check our temperature. It's so empty. The basketball players didn't last long. The court is now out of bounds till further notice.
Give me my one.
On the way home, there's the compulsory visit to the tent.
How long have you had your card?
What? We're together.
Have you been out of Beijing?
No.
I'm going to change your card. We're going to give them 2 new cards. Their cards are too old.
Why do we have to change? These are better. They have a longer validity. Okay.
We have 2 cards for our family, but there are 3 of us, and they're white this time. There's no way of knowing if that's a good or bad sign. But we're not going to complain. Some people have only 1 card per family and are only allowed to go out once every 2 or 3 days. The 4th week of quarantine, and now it's impossible to pass drinking water over the barrier. With every passing day, China shuts itself off a little bit more.